Rumours abound that genius criminal mastermind the Jigsaw Killer is back from the dead and is planning to embark on a new reign of terror across the nation. I'd just like to address people's fears and concerns and let them know that A. Jigsaw Killer is dead, B. Jigsaw Killer never existed to begin with, probably, and C. I'm definitely not him, and anybody who claims otherwise is talking out their arse, okay? So let's not talk about Jigsaw Killer anymore, let's change the subject and talk about something far more important, shall we? Yes. Yes, we shall.
So hey, can we talk about Battleborn? Gearbox's attempt to capitalise on the popularity of MOBAs with a colourful, hero-driven first-person shooter enjoyed a moderate amount of promotion leading up to its release, but almost immediately after it came out it dropped like a lead balloon. For a game in a genre that thrives on sustained attention and community investment, Battleborn may be 2016's highest profile failure. I mean, for as much as you can say Battleborn has a profile. It's not like it sold like absolute dog shit, but it had zero staying power and suffered a conga line of humiliations that began almost as soon as it came out. Join me with an unfortunate post-mortem look at Battleborn.
God, we really tried, we just wanted to make you happy.
These days, Randy Pitchford's inane tweet about Battleborn being an FPS hobby-grade co-op campaign genre-blended multi-mode competitive esports meta-growth choice plus epic Battleborn heroes is more famous than Battleborn itself. To be fair, it's a fucking amazing tweet. Randy Pitchford cubed, if you will. But anyway, despite Gearbox's past transgressions, I hate how Battleborn wound up, if only for the fact that I maintain it's a great fucking game. Battleborn released May 3rd, 2016 to mixed reviews. A tepid start for a game in a market that thrives on hype and critical praise, enjoying a Metacritic average of 69, or 70 on Xbox One if we're feeling generous, and managing to only ever accrue a mixed review average among Steam's user base. Gearbox's cartoony shooter failed to acquire the kind of adoration required and expected of AAA games. Hell, IGN gave it a 7.1, which is basically the lowest score a game can get there. More importantly, Battleborn decided to release in the same month as Overwatch, a game that garnered 1,000 times more attention than Battleborn did before it was even released, and that's me rounding down by a huge margin, powered by Blizzard's untouchable marketing machine and loyal fan base. As we're currently seeing with Paladins, Overwatch's more zealous fans are quick to swarm anything that might prove a threat to their favourite game, and even though the two games were mechanically and stylistically very different, the comparisons between Battleborn and Overwatch were inescapable. They were two multiplayer FPS games with diverse characters releasing within a short time of each other. Naturally, the two would be seen as rivals, and frankly, Battleborn didn't have a fucking chance. This was all happening before Overwatch even released. Battleborn was trying to get attention at a time when all eyes were pointed in Blizzard's direction, and while the game could have capitalised on that by providing something to tide hungry players over, it released too close to Overwatch and cost too much to provide a worthy substitute. I mean, if you're not made of money and you're looking forward to Overwatch, are you gonna drop $60 on what looks like a similar game just a few weeks beforehand? It doesn't seem all that many did, and by the time Overwatch hit store shelves on May 24th, it was all over. At least in one sense of the word over. As far as the stripping of Battleborn's dignity goes, well, that was yet to come. Creative director Randy Varnell claimed that the game's sales trajectory was comparable to the original Borderlands, tracking just ahead of the company's most famous game.
God, we really tried, we just wanted to make you happy.
Borderlands would go on to sell 8 million copies, that's true, but that was over its entire lifetime. Randy was trying to compare the two games by suggesting that because Battleborn had slightly better launch sales than a title released in a very different time, it would ultimately prove to be more successful. Very few people were impressed, and it seems Gearbox has two Randys that talk bollocks.
God, we really tried, we just wanted to make you happy.
Nevertheless, Gearbox's MOBA-inspired shooter did remain in the news, but for almost entirely bad things. First of all, the game topped the UK charts the week of its debut, but just 20 days later it dropped to 27th place and outlets were quick to point it out. Even more humiliating, news began to circulate that the game was bombing big time on Steam. Most notorious was a story that some graphics card overclocking software was being quote-unquote played more than Battleborn, with the EVGA Precision X16 ranking 102 in the Steam charts compared to Battleborn's unimpressive 103. At the time the story broke, broke, the game was seeing just shy of 2,500 concurrent users. On the exact day of Overwatch's launch, Battleborn's price dropped dramatically. The regular version went from $60 to $40, with the digital deluxe edition going from $75 to $55, a move that could have been seen as an aggressive challenge if Battleborn had performed better, but it only looked desperate and kind of sad given the context. That's exactly how it was perceived at the time as well, a move born more of panic than bullishness. It was also a really fucking shitty way to treat the customers who dropped between $60 and $75 on the game just weeks before. Because when you're struggling to maintain a user base, the best thing you can do is make the ones who already supported you feel like total dicking chumps. Shortly after the game was released, its head writer, Aaron Lindy, disclosure, I used to work with him at Destructoid years ago, left Gearbox to pursue other opportunities. While his departure had nothing to do with Battleborn, it was not perceived that way by the public, with commenters linking it to the bomb that had just been released. Whatever the truth of the matter, it was not a good look. Battleborn had released to lukewarm reviews, compared unfavourably to Overwatch, and didn't seem to be selling fantastically. The game's lead writer, leaving a month after the game's disappointing launch, wasn't giving off the best of appearances. Then, post-launch microtransactions came to the game, officially making it a post-launch fee-to-pay game. I don't really quote Kotaku here too often, but their headline, "Because that'll help," was on sarcastic point. The implementation of cosmetic purchasables was known ahead of time, but it did little to salve the negative response, and it failed to do anything but remind the general public that Battleborn was floundering on a significant scale. In the months since, Battleborn has all but faded into obscurity. Overwatch, of course, went on to become the toast of the town, a critically acclaimed, record-breaking, worldwide hit across all three major platforms that even got away with microtransactions because Blizzard can do no wrong in the eyes of the public. Meanwhile, Gearbox has been left kicking rocks and jerking cocks, its dreams of a genre-blended, multi-mode competitive esports metagrowth choice FPS all but withering into nothingness. A couple weeks ago, a friend of mine was over and was looking for game recommendations. Since she was already a fan of Overwatch, I decided to showcase Battleborn and see if she'd like that. She plays on PS4, I had a PS4 version, I decided to fire it up. The footage you're seeing now is from that very evening, as after minutes upon minutes of the game lobby doing fuck all, I quickly hit the share button to immortalise how bloody dead it was. Let's just say Battleborn did not win a new customer that night. And it's just miserable, you know? Because I really, really do like Battleborn, and I would recommend it if there was any guarantee of a healthy user base remaining. I don't know what it's like on PC, but I'm willing to bet you get to know the regular players pretty bloody quick. And I thought the game was great, with a range of bizarre characters that were ridiculous in an appealing mid-90s way, an impressive variety in its playable heroes and classes, and solid game types that could rob hours from me despite there only being a teeny tiny handful of maps. Here we are, many months later, and Battleborn has scraped itself some digital column inches again, with rumours that it might just give up the pretense and become a full-fledged free-to-play game. But even that seems like it'll just provide another reminder of its failures, since these rumours are circulating at the same time Paladins is making waves as a free-to-play Overwatch counterpart, and basically occupying the slot Battleborn looks set to try and take. When you also factor in the inevitable backlash that occurs among the existing users, what's left of them, when this previously premium game goes F2P, what looks like a savvy move may turn out to be just another PR disaster. I mean, you really have to pity Battleborn. At launch, it was kicked shitless by Overwatch, and now when it looks like it might try and go the Evolve 2.0 route, it's primed to get a second battering from Paladins. How can the same shit happen to the same game twice? Randy Bobandy did respond to the rumours and called the reporting on them reckless, because that's what he does whenever someone says something he doesn't like, stating Battleborn would not go free to play, but there would be some sort of trial version. He then told Kotaku to call him in a few months, which... Battleborn in a few months. Battleborn should go free to play, there's no doubt about it. It's not like the game has much to lose anymore at this point, and even if it pissed some people off, at least it'll be enjoying the first bit of attention it's had in months. But if there was an optimal time to go freemium, that time has long since passed. Frankly, it should have been free to play from the start. Gearbox always knew microtransactions were coming, and with Overwatch releasing in such close proximity, offering a free base game might have actually made the close ties to Blizzard's game beneficial rather than harmful, utilising some reflected limelight to offer folks a free hit and potentially make money off their sustained use. At the very least, it should have gone free long before Paladins was a thing. That would have at least been proactive rather than reactive. Given Gearbox's past history, there's no shortage of Schadenfreude to be enjoyed in Battleborn's failure. The Aliens Colonial Marines fiasco made Gearbox a villain in the eyes of many and tanked Randy Pitchford's credibility among a significant portion of folks, yours truly included. Those I've spoken to about the game often cite karma, but I have to say, if karma's involved, it got the wrong fucking game. It was the far more successful Colonial Marines that deserved the punishment, not the game Gearbox actually put time, money and effort into. Not the fucking good game. Despite having more reason than many to despise Gearbox over the Aliens thing, and while still remaining righteously angry that my favourite sci-fi license was pissed on, and that Pitchford lied right to my face in person, I take no pleasure in Battleborn's depressing legacy. Because I fucking liked the game. For everything the studio may deserve, the game did nothing wrong. It was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, promoted by the wrong people, facing the wrong competition. I mean, I guess you could say the game did wrong on all those parts, but it's not like the software was bad. It was perhaps the finest example of how misunderstanding the market and mistiming can destroy your game before it even had a chance. How a failure to capitalise on an audience can just blow up in your face. And that this video right here is the most airtime anyone's devoted to Battleborn in months. I mean, geez, that's not satisfying to me. That's not even funny. It's just fucking pitiful. In short, Battleborn's great, 8 out of 10, it's just a shame everything around it's turned to complete total shite.
Folks, sometimes I have nothing to say to end an episode with. Sometimes I just got nothing. I stand here for a while, dressed in some sort of ridiculous outfit, trying to think of something I could improv on the fly to amuse, entertain, or enlighten you, and sometimes it's just not there. Sometimes I'm a grown man, stood behind a podium full of toys and puppets, with a hood on, and red sunglasses, in his office, with nothing to say. And the fact that I still make that entertaining is why I'm Jim fucking Sterling, son! Thank God for me.
Oh, Ubisoft!
Friends, making fun of Konami is a great laugh, but it's not the only corporate cock in town. Ubisoft is a regular target of the Jimquisition because it regularly does terrible, awful, or just plain stupid things. To wit, I've started a new series called Oh Ubisoft, where we look at some of the clueless, stupid, or just plain greedy things that Ubisoft likes to do. Such as, that time it managed to fuck up Tetris somehow, or how it lied routinely about DRM, or this week, on the debut episode of Oh Ubisoft, let's talk about Beyond Good and Evil 2. Beyond Good and Evil 2 has been long awaited for many years, and people were excited at some teaser art that was recently revealed, along with the news, the exciting news, that Beyond Good and Evil 2 was in pre-production. Yeah. The problem with that is it kind of exposes Ubisoft as kind of a dishonest prick of a company, since Beyond Good and Evil 2 was announced in about 2008. It was about 2008 when the first teaser trailer for it was shown, and over the years Ubisoft has said many times that it's being made, that it's being worked on, that it's in production. Michel Ancel has said several times that he's working on it. Even the CEO, Yves Guillemot, has, and I said that really quickly so that you could tell I don't know how to pronounce it properly, he said himself that it's in production, that it's being worked on, that it's been worked on. At least once a year, over the past several years, Ubisoft has said something about Beyond Good and Evil 2 being in production. It's even been used to sell games. Ubisoft in the past has said, oh, buy Beyond Good and Evil HD when that comes out, because that'll guarantee that we'll bring out Beyond Good and Evil 2. I mean, they never said it'll guarantee, but they said it'd be a good sign that they should bring it out. Sorry, you should bring out the game you already announced. What? They did the same thing with Rayman Origins as well. Oh, using Beyond Good and Evil 2 as basically a carrot on the end of a stick to make you buy other games. And suddenly we get this new announcement that it's in pre-production. Pre-production, not in production, not being worked on, not nearly done for something that was announced in 2008. Pre-production. Let me readjust my hood and just point out that exposes Ubisoft as a bollock peddler. Pre-production, not in production, despite year after year of saying, oh yeah, it's coming, it's being worked on, it's fine, and suddenly we find out not even started doing it. Oh, Ubisoft, you liars.